Amidst the crashing waves and fierce storms of the North Atlantic, a new breed of seafarers emerged, not just as fearsome warriors, but as intrepid traders whose influence stretched far beyond the icy shores of their homeland. These were the Vikings, whose longships became vehicles of commerce as much as conquest. Their expeditions were not merely quests for plunder, but strategic ventures into the very heart of medieval trade routes, extending threads of connection from the Norse heartlands to the bustling markets of the Mediterranean and beyond. Driven by both necessity and opportunity, these early navigators understood the vast potential hidden within the currents of the seas and the winding paths of rivers. The Viking Age marked a time when these seafarers harnessed their unrivaled shipbuilding skills to forge paths across the known world. The importance of their voyages lay not only in their audacious spirit, but in their strategic mastery of trade, which became an integral aspect of their society. From the markets of the Frankish Empire to the exotic bazaars of the East, Viking traders expanded the horizons of their world, weaving a complex network of exchange and interaction. In the cold, rocky landscapes of Scandinavia, where resources were often scarce, the socio-economic conditions nurtured a spirit of exploration and trade. Land was limited, and the harsh climate posed challenges for agriculture, pushing communities to look beyond their shores for sustenance and prosperity. It was in this crucible of necessity that our fictional protagonist, Leif, emerged, a trader whose ambitions were as vast as the seas he sailed. Born into a world defined by the relentless pursuit of wealth and survival, Leif's journey would not only alter his own destiny, but leave an indelible mark on the history of his people. Preparing for such a journey was no small feat. The logistics involved were as meticulous as they were crucial. Every expedition required careful planning, from the selection of seasoned crew members to the gathering of goods that would fetch the best prices in distant lands. Leif would consult with local artisans and farmers, acquiring everything from finely woven textiles to durable ironware. The construction of a longship, a marvel of engineering in its own right, demanded the skilled hands of shipwrights who understood the sea as well as any sailor. With its sleek design and shallow draft, the longship was built to navigate both open ocean and narrow riverways, making it the perfect vessel for the long journey ahead. As the time to depart drew near, Leif and his crew relied on the age-old navigational techniques that had guided their ancestors. The sun and stars were their compass, while the wind whispered secrets of faraway lands. The Vikings' understanding of the natural world allowed them to chart courses with remarkable accuracy, using landmarks and the flight of birds to guide their path. Once the longship was laden with goods and oars drew up, ready to set sail, they embarked on a journey that would test their resolve and expand their horizons. The first major hurdle was the Baltic Sea, a vast expanse with its own set of challenges. The sea's unpredictable nature required vigilance and skill, but it also offered opportunities for trade with the diverse tribes inhabiting its shores. Leif and his crew would barter with these communities, exchanging goods and forging alliances that would prove invaluable as they continued their voyage. The Baltic tribes, with their own unique crafts and resources, added a vibrant tapestry of exchange to the journey, offering everything from amber to expert craftsmanship in return for the traders' wares. Beyond the Baltic lay the river routes of Eastern Europe, pathways that would carry them deeper into the heart of the continent. Transitioning from sea to river travel demanded a keen understanding of the waterways, from the Dnieper to the Volga, which served as vital arteries for trade and communication. These rivers were not just conduits of commerce, but veins of cultural exchange, where ideas and traditions flowed alongside goods in a dynamic interplay of societies. As the longship traversed these riverine highways, it entered the lands of the Slavic peoples, where exchanges of furs, amber, and other commodities were common. Here, the concept of cultural exchange became vividly apparent. This was a world where languages intermingled, where customs and beliefs were as fluid as the water beneath the ship's hull. For Leif and his crew, these encounters were transformative, broadening their understanding of the world and their place within it. Yet the journey was fraught with danger. The threat of bandits and rival traders was ever present, necessitating strategic alliances and defensive tactics. Leif, a shrewd negotiator, understood the value of diplomacy and the strength of unity. By building relationships with local chieftains and other traders, he ensured not only the safety of his crew, but the success of his mission. These alliances, forged in the crucible of necessity, were as vital as any weapon in their arsenal. At last, the longship reached the opulent shores of the Byzantine Empire, where Constantinople's grandeur was matched only by its bustling markets. Here, silver traded hands for silk and spices, exotic goods that held the promise of wealth and status back home. The vibrant tapestry of cultures in this cosmopolitan hub provided a glimpse into a world far removed from the fjords of Scandinavia, yet intrinsically linked through the bonds of trade. The encounters with diverse belief systems, including the burgeoning influence of Christianity and Islam, further expanded the crew's worldview. These religions, with their rich traditions and profound philosophies, offered a new lens through which to view life and the cosmos. For Leif, these experiences were transformative, reshaping his understanding of faith and the interconnectedness of humanity. Navigating from the Byzantine Empire to the Persian Gulf presented new environmental challenges, demanding adaptation and resilience. The crew faced scorching heat and arid landscapes, but the thriving trade networks of the region held treasures worth the struggle. Adaptation became a key theme as they moved from one cultural sphere to another, demonstrating the Vikings' ability to thrive in diverse environments. In Baghdad, the heart of Islamic civilization, they found a thriving market teeming with luxury goods and intellectual exchange. The city's breathtaking architecture and vibrant intellectual life left an indelible impression, highlighting the richness of human achievement and the boundless possibilities of trade. Reflecting on the journey, it becomes clear that the legacy of Viking trade extended far beyond material wealth. These exchanges spurred advancements in technology and culture, creating a ripple effect that resonated through the ages. As Leif and his crew prepared for the return voyage, their longship now laden with new treasures and tales, they carried with them not just goods, but a wealth of new knowledge and perspectives. The anticipation of homecoming was bittersweet, filled with the promise of sharing newfound ideas and innovations. These journeys of trade and exploration would shape not only individual destinies, but the course of history, laying the groundwork for future generations to build upon. In reflecting on this interconnected world, we are reminded of the enduring impact of these ancient trade routes and the remarkable legacy they left behind. If you enjoyed this story so far, please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. The Viking Age, marked by its daring seafarers and explorers, was not solely defined by raids and conquest. At its heart was a complex network of traders whose ships cut through the waters of Europe and beyond, connecting distant lands with their exchange of goods and culture. These Viking traders were pivotal in the web of commerce that spanned continents, their expeditions carrying far more than just the wares of their homelands. The lure of trade routes was not just economic, but a journey into the unknown, enriching both their coffers and their knowledge of the wider world. In the rugged landscapes of Scandinavia, a harsh climate and limited arable land spurred a need for exploration and trade. Communities relied on what could be harvested from the sea and the land, yet it was the sea that held the promise of prosperity. This necessity birthed a breed of trader sailors, daring individuals driven by the spirit of discovery and survival. Among them was our imagined protagonist, a seasoned trader whose lineage was steeped in the lore of the sea. His ancestors had laid the foundations, but it was his ambition to carve out new paths and bring back treasures unseen by his kin. Preparing for these expeditions required meticulous planning and foresight. The process was a delicate balance of choosing the right cargo that would be desirable at foreign ports, from furs and amber to weapons and tools. Building a longship was an undertaking of its own, a marvel of engineering with its sleek, versatile design capable of navigating both the open sea and shallow rivers. The ship was more than a vessel. It was a lifeline, a symbol of their resilience and adaptability. Setting sail was a ceremony infused with equal parts tradition and innovation. Vikings relied on their intimate knowledge of the natural world to guide them. The stars served as a celestial map, the sun a constant companion, and familiar coastlines a reassuring sight. Yet it was their intuitive understanding of the sea, the wind, and the weather that truly set them apart, a testament to their deep connection with nature and its rhythms. As the coastline gave way to the vastness of the Baltic Sea, challenges emerged in the form of unpredictable weather and treacherous waters. Yet with every challenge came opportunity. Encounters with the Baltic tribes were occasions for trade and mutual respect. Goods exchanged here were not just material, they were cultural, the beginnings of a dialogue between worlds. The transition from sea to river travel was a seamless one, a testament to the versatility of the longship. Rivers like the Dnieper and Volga served as vital arteries, linking the Norse homelands to the wealth of Eastern Europe and beyond. Here, the trader would engage with Slavic peoples, exchanging prized pelts and rare amber for precious metals and crafted goods. It was a confluence of cultures, a meeting of minds where each interaction broadened horizons and deepened understanding. Yet, these routes were fraught with danger. Bandits and rival traders posed constant threats, necessitating alliances and strategies that would ensure safe passage. Our protagonist, like many of his kind, navigated these perils with a mix of diplomacy and strength, forging bonds that would outlast any single voyage. The journey would eventually lead to the grandeur of the Byzantine Empire. The sight of Constantinople's splendor was a reward in itself, its markets overflowing with silks, spices, and treasures from across the known world. Here the exchanges were not just of goods, but of ideas, philosophies, and beliefs, a melting pot of cultures that left an indelible mark on those who passed through. New religious ideas took root, shaping the spiritual landscape of traders who encountered Christianity and Islam. These influences expanded their worldview, prompting reflections on their own beliefs and practices back home. The journey continued onward through the Persian Gulf, where the heat of the desert met the cool of the sea. Adaptation was essential, the harsh environment demanding new tactics and resilience from those who dared to traverse it. Arriving in Baghdad was like stepping into another world, a city of wonder and wisdom where scholars and merchants thrived. The vibrancy of the markets here was matched only by the richness of its intellectual climate, a nexus of Islamic civilization that left a profound impact on its visitors. The legacy of these trades extended far beyond the goods exchanged. The flow of ideas, technology, and culture between distant lands transformed societies, sowing the seeds for advancements that would echo through history. It was a tapestry woven with threads from every corner of the ancient world, creating a fabric of interconnectedness that set the stage for future generations. As the trader prepared for the return journey, his longship laden with treasures and tales, the anticipation of home was tempered with the challenges ahead. Transporting new goods required ingenuity, yet there was an eagerness to share the knowledge and experiences gained. This homecoming would reinvigorate communities, planting the seeds of innovation and change. Reflecting on the significance of these voyages, one sees how they shaped not just the Viking legacy, but the course of human history. The interconnected nature of these trade routes fostered a global consciousness, a recognition of shared humanity that transcended borders. As we consider the enduring impact of these ancient networks, we are reminded of the power of exploration and exchange in shaping our world. Embedded within the very fabric of Viking society was the spirit of exploration, a relentless drive not only for conquest, but for connection and commerce. These seafaring Norsemen, often romanticized as mere raiders, were also astute traders whose journeys stitched together the distant corners of a medieval world. The maps of their voyages, though crude by modern standards, charted paths across seas and rivers, through territories as diverse as the icy northern coasts and the sun-baked Persian lands. Every expedition a thread in a vast tapestry of exchange, their routes served as the veins of an ancient global network, pulsing with goods and ideas. The Scandinavian heartlands, cradles of Viking culture, were a land of rugged beauty and harsh realities. Here, long winters and sparse farmland pressed upon the Norse peoples, nudging communities to look beyond their fjords and forests for sustenance and prosperity. It was in this crucible of need and opportunity that our story finds its protagonist, a Viking trader of keen mind and daring spirit. Born into a world that danced at the edge of survival and adventure, he would come to embody the essence of his people's search for fortune and knowledge. With the resolve to venture forth, preparation began in earnest. Crafting the longship, a marvel of naval engineering, was both an art and a necessity. These vessels, sleek and sturdy, were the lifelines of the Viking trader. And as the ship took shape under the skilled hands of shipwrights, careful thought was given to the selection of goods that would fill its hold. From furs as soft as the whispering wind to amber that captured the sun's warmth, the trader chose treasures that would speak to the desires of distant markets. As the ship set sail, the world unfolded like a great mystery, each wave a page turned in an epic saga. The stars above, eternal companions, guided the voyage. Ancient navigational skills, handed down through generations, allowed the Vikings to chart their courses by the heavens, by the sun's arc, and the distant silhouette of land. This celestial dance of navigation was as natural as the breath of the sea breeze. The Baltic Sea, a gateway to the riches of the East, presented its own challenges. Yet, for every tempestuous storm, there were sunlit days of trade with the Baltic tribes. Here languages mingled like the mingling of waters, and goods exchanged hands, binding cultures in silent promise. These interactions were the quiet currents of history, carving paths of influence that would endure long after the sails had fallen still. Transitioning from the open sea to the winding, sheltered embrace of river routes marked a new chapter in the journey. The Dnieper and Volga served as liquid roads leading deeper into the heart of Eastern Europe. It was along these riverbanks that the trader encountered the Slavic peoples, their societies rich with resources and tradition. Furs, exquisite in their craftsmanship, and amber, fossilized sunlight were traded alongside stories and customs, each transaction a bridge between worlds. The journey was not without peril. Bandits lurked like shadows at the edges of these paths, and rival traders eyed each other's fortunes with envy. Yet, through strategic alliances and a judicious display of strength, our Viking trader navigated these threats. It was a dance of diplomacy and defense, where survival often depended on the ability to outwit or outmaneuver those who would endanger the mission. It was the allure of Constantinople, city of opulence and grandeur, that drew the trader onward. Beneath its golden domes, the Byzantine Empire gleamed with possibilities. Here, silver flowed like water, exchanged for silk and spices that whispered of lands even further afar. This was a crossroads of culture and commerce, where East met West in a symphony of trade. The wealth of the empire, both material and cultural, left an indelible mark on the trader's soul. Through these interactions, the Viking trader's worldview expanded, encountering the rich tapestry of Christianity and the colorful threads of Islam. These religions, with their profound philosophies and passionate adherents, offered glimpses into new ways of understanding the world. The exchange was not just in goods, but in ideas, fostering a broader comprehension of life and belief. Pressing further south, the journey led towards the Persian Gulf, a transition marked by both environmental challenges and strategic adaptations. Here, the land and sea conspired to test the trader's resilience, yet the promise of new markets and alliances provided the necessary impetus to persevere. Adaptation was key, as the trader learned to read the shifting sands and currents, guiding the expedition safely onward. Baghdad, the heart of Islamic civilization, rose like a mirage, a city of wonders. Its bustling markets were a cacophony of sights and sounds, where luxury goods and everyday necessities jostled for attention. Here, the Viking trader found not just a market, but a metropolis of knowledge, where scholars and merchants alike shaped the world through their discoveries and dealings. As the journey wound homeward, the weight of new goods balanced the longship, the anticipation of return growing with each mile sailed. These treasures, both material and intangible, promised prosperity and prestige. Yet it was the stories and knowledge, the subtle shifts in perception and understanding that were the greatest cargo. The return was not just a homecoming, but a transformation, the trader a carrier of change. Reflecting on this epic voyage, it becomes clear how such expeditions were more than mere pathways of trade. They were conduits of culture, technology, and ideas, shaping the societies of Europe and the Middle East. The legacy of these journeys is etched into the annals of history, a testament to the enduring power of human connection and the pursuit of understanding across borders. As our narrative draws to a close, consider the indelible impact of these ancient routes and the traders who traversed them. They were pioneers of an interconnected world, their legacy a reminder that exploration and exchange have forever been at the heart of human progress. In this tapestry of ancient trade and exploration, we conjure images of Viking traders setting forth on their epic journeys. Their ventures weren't merely acts of commerce, but rather bold excursions that shaped the course of history. To understand the impetus behind these voyages, we journey back to the Scandinavian heartlands, where a harsh and rugged landscape cultivated a people both resilient and adventurous. These lands, with their fjords and forests, were home to communities that thrived despite the challenges posed by their environment. The long, dark winters and short growing seasons made life demanding, yet it was this very adversity that spurred innovation and trade. In these Scandinavian societies, the limited agricultural yield pushed communities to seek resources beyond their immediate surroundings. The desire for improved quality of life, the lure of wealth, and the quest for vital commodities not found in their homeland were powerful motivators. It was a time when the tides of change carried whispers of distant lands, tales of fortunes to be made, and cultures to be discovered. Our fictional Viking trader, whom we shall name Eric, embodies this spirit of exploration and commerce. Eric, born into a family of seasoned seafarers and traders, inherited the adventurous spirit that pulsed through Viking bloodlines. From an early age, he was regaled with stories of far-off places where gold, spices, and silk awaited the daring. As Eric matured, the call to adventure grew louder. Before embarking on his first expedition, meticulous preparation was paramount. The Viking expeditions required careful planning, from selecting the right crew to deciding on the cargo that would bring the most profit. With the community's resources pooled together, Eric and his fellow traders meticulously chose goods that would be valuable in foreign markets. These included furs from the north, iron tools, honey, and even skilled labor in the form of mercenaries, which were all coveted by the peoples they would encounter. The longship, the quintessential vessel of the Viking age, was central to their plans. These ships, with their shallow drafts and sturdy construction, were both versatile and robust, designed to navigate the open sea and penetrate deep into river systems. Setting sail was a moment charged with anticipation. To chart their courses across vast and unpredictable seas, Viking navigators relied on an array of skills and tools. The sunstone, a mythical object that legends claim could locate the sun on cloudy days, was part of their toolkit, alongside the more reliable sun compass. By day, they would chart their paths using the sun, while at night, the stars provided celestial guidance. Landmarks and the behavior of the wind and sea currents were also crucial, weaving a complex tapestry of navigational knowledge passed down through generations. The journey first led them across the Baltic Sea, a body of water as treacherous as it was vital. Eric and his crew faced the capricious nature of the sea, contending with sudden storms and challenging tides. Yet each challenge was met with a mixture of skill and the Viking spirit of resilience. Along these routes, interactions with Baltic tribes opened up opportunities to trade for goods unique to these regions. Baltic amber, known as the gold of the north, was particularly prized and became a staple of Viking trade, exchanged for goods from distant lands. As the open sea gave way to the river routes of Eastern Europe, the transition was as transformative as the landscapes themselves. The rivers Dnieper and Volga served as vital arteries of trade, winding through the heart of the continent and leading to destinations rich with opportunity. These waterways, with their own challenges, required adept skills in navigation and diplomacy. The rivers were not just physical conduits, but also cultural ones, linking diverse peoples and facilitating the exchange of not just goods, but ideas and beliefs. In these Slavic lands, the trade of furs and amber continued, each interaction a chance to forge connections and alliances. Eric, with his keen sense for opportunity, understood that trade was as much about relationships as it was about commodities. The cultural exchange along these routes was profound. with the mingling of languages, traditions, and beliefs enriching all who participated. It was a tapestry of human interaction, weaving together disparate cultures into a shared narrative of exploration and mutual benefit. However, the journey was fraught with danger, as the lure of wealth attracted bandits and rival traders. Eric's skills were put to the test, navigating not only the physical landscape, but also the complex web of alliances and enmities. Strategic partnerships were essential, as was the ability to defend their precious cargo. This was a world where strength and cunning went hand in hand, and where every encounter could spell fortune or ruin. Reaching the Byzantine Empire, with its dazzling capital of Constantinople, was both a climax and a revelation. The opulence of the city, with its splendid architecture and bustling markets, was unlike anything Eric had ever seen. Here, the trade of silver for silk and spices opened doors to the east, each transaction a testament to the Vikings' impact on the broader world. The grandeur of Byzantium was a testament to the possibilities that lay beyond the familiar horizon. In this melting pot of cultures, Eric encountered the monotheistic religions of Christianity and Islam, each with its own rich traditions and philosophies. These encounters expanded Eric's worldview, challenging and enriching his understanding of the world and his place within it. The exchange of religious and philosophical ideas marked a turning point, influencing Viking culture in subtle and profound ways. Continuing their journey, they navigated the Persian Gulf, a region where the climate and environment posed new challenges. Adaptation was key, as was learning from those who had long called these lands home. The resilience and ingenuity that had seen them across the seas now served them well in the arid landscapes of the Middle East. Reaching Baghdad, the heart of Islamic civilization, Eric and his crew were greeted by a city teeming with life and commerce. The markets of Baghdad were legendary, a hub where East met West in a vibrant exchange of goods and ideas. Here, Viking traders found luxury goods and technologies that would transform their own society upon their return. Reflecting on the legacy of these trade routes reveals a rich tapestry of cultural and technological exchange. The Vikings' influence reached far beyond mere commodities, fostering advancements in shipbuilding, navigation, and a deeper understanding of diverse cultures. As Eric and his crew prepared for their return journey, the anticipation of sharing their newfound knowledge and wealth was palpable. The challenges of transporting these goods home were many, but the promise of the rewards outweighed the risks. Upon their return, the tales of their adventures would inspire future generations, underscoring the interconnected nature of history. The journeys of Viking traders like Eric are reminders of the shared human drive to explore, connect, and understand. In their legacy, we find a rich testament to the enduring power of trade and exploration, shaping the world in ways that continue to resonate through the ages. As the icy winds swept across the rugged Scandinavian landscapes, villages huddled together under the vast, unyielding sky, bound by the rhythms of the seasons. Life in these northern realms, though harsh and demanding, was vibrant with a spirit of resilience and innovation. The long winters taught patience, while the fertile summers provided just enough bounty to sustain the community. Yet, amidst the beauty and the struggle, the people of this land were driven by an insatiable curiosity and an unyielding need to venture beyond the horizon. These socioeconomic conditions created a crucible for adventure. Resources, though available, were often limited, and the growing population meant that newer avenues had to be explored to secure prosperity and survival. It was within this backdrop that Eric, our fictional Viking trader, found his calling. Growing up, he had listened to the mesmerizing tales of distant lands narrated by seasoned seafarers who returned from their voyages with spices, silk, and stories of lands bathed in perpetual sunshine. These tales sparked a fire in Eric's heart, a longing to see beyond the fjords, to touch the silken threads of the east, and to barter the furs of the north for treasures whispered about in hushed tones. As Eric prepared for his journey, the entire village buzzed with activity. Preparing for such an expedition was no small feat. It involved meticulous planning and gathering of goods that would appeal to foreign markets. From intricately carved walrus ivory to durable woolen textiles, every item was chosen with a keen understanding of its potential value in distant lands. The construction of the longship was a community endeavor, a testament to the collective spirit and craftsmanship of his people. Each plank of wood was secured with precision, creating a vessel that was both sturdy and swift, capable of slicing through the frothy waves of the open sea. When at last the sails were unfurled, and the shoreline faded into the mist, the journey truly began. Eric, standing at the helm, relied heavily on the knowledge passed down through generations. Navigation in those days was an art as much as a science, with the dance of the stars and the sun guiding the way. The Vikings, with their acute sense of direction, would read the subtle signs of nature, the flight patterns of birds, and the shape of the coastline, to chart their courses. This deep understanding of their environment allowed them to traverse vast expanses of water with an unerring sense of purpose. The Baltic Sea lay ahead, its waters teeming with both opportunity and peril. Here, the crew faced challenges that tested their mettle and forged their camaraderie. The sea was a living entity, constantly shifting under the whims of the wind. Yet with each crest and trough, Eric learned to negotiate its moods, building alliances with the Baltic tribes encountered along the way. These interactions facilitated the exchange of local goods like honey and amber, enriching the cargo and the stories that would be shared upon their return. As the sea gave way to the river routes of Eastern Europe, the transition was seamless, driven by the allure of the sprawling waterways like the Dnieper and Volga. These rivers were the lifelines that connected disparate regions, enabling the flow of culture and commerce. Here, Eric navigated through lands rich with Slavic heritage, where the exchange of furs and amber for Slavic crafts and metals broadened the horizons for both trader and local alike. The river journeys were not merely about trade. They were about absorbing the essence of the lands passed through, each port offering a different taste of humanity and culture. The journey was not without danger. In the shadows lurked bandits and rival traders, eager to exploit any vulnerability. Eric, with his keen sense of strategy, crafted alliances with local leaders and other traders, creating a network of protection that allowed his trading convoy to proceed relatively unscathed. These relationships, forged in the crucible of necessity, were as valuable as the treasures traded, ensuring safe passage and mutual prosperity. Constantinople was the next great threshold, its golden gates gleaming under the Mediterranean sun. The city was a marvel, a convergence point for the wealth and wisdom of empires. In its bustling markets, Eric traded northern furs and robust timber for the luxurious silk and fragrant spices of the East. The opulence of the city was not merely in its goods, but in its ideas, as merchants and scholars from across the known world gathered to share knowledge and culture. As Eric engaged with traders from the Byzantine Empire, he encountered the diverse cultural and religious tapestries that shaped these lands. The presence of Christianity and Islam was pronounced, each faith offering a unique lens through which to view the world. Eric, ever the curious learner, absorbed these new perspectives, his worldview expanding with each conversation and encounter, influencing the tales he would later recount to his kin. The journey through the Persian Gulf was a passage through time and terrain, the arid landscape posing its own set of challenges. Adaptation was crucial, as the crew learned to navigate the shifting sandbars and the unpredictable waters. This adaptability was rewarded upon reaching Baghdad, a city that stood as the heart of Islamic civilization. The sights and sounds of Baghdad were a sensory feast, a vibrant market of ideas and goods that dazzled even the most seasoned of traders. Eric marveled at the intricate architecture, the bustling bazaars where luxury goods changed hands, and the scholarly debates that filled the air with intellectual fervor. Reflecting on the legacy of trade, it becomes apparent that these exchanges were more than mere transactions of goods. They were conduits for the spread of technology, art, and ideas that would spark advancements across both Europe, and Middle Eastern cultures. These interactions laid the groundwork for developments that would ripple through history, from innovations in navigation to the blending of artistic styles, each leaving a lasting imprint on the tapestry of human civilization. With the ship's hold full of exotic goods and the crew's minds brimming with new stories, the journey home began, a return as challenging as the outbound voyage. Navigating the expansive waters with precious cargo required diligence and skill, each wave a reminder of the sea's capricious nature. Yet, the promise of home, the eagerness to share newfound knowledge and treasures, fueled their efforts. As the shores of Scandinavia drew closer, anticipation mingled with the satisfaction of a journey well completed, a testament to the enduring spirit of exploration and trade that defined their lives. In the end, the impact of these voyages resonated beyond the immediate gains of wealth and goods. They laid the foundation for a legacy that future generations would continue to build upon, a legacy that underscored the interconnectedness of the world. Each journey, each exchange was a thread in the intricate web of history, a reminder of the enduring power of human curiosity and the unquenchable desire to explore and connect. In this age of exploration, our tale follows a young Viking trader named Eric, born in the rugged landscapes of Scandinavia. His village, nestled amid fjords and forests, thrived on a delicate balance between farming, hunting, and the burgeoning culture of exploration that defined the Viking age. Eric, with dreams larger than the skies above, often listened to the older warriors recount tales of distant lands and unimaginable riches. These stories fueled a fire within him, a fire that burned brighter with each passing day. The socio-economic conditions in Eric's homeland were both a catalyst and a challenge. Farming, while essential, was limited by the harsh and unpredictable climate. This necessity pushed the community to look outward, to the seas, for resources and wealth. The prospects of trading were not just opportunities but lifelines, threads of hope interwoven with the fibers of survival. Young Eric, inspired by this reality, decided to embark on a trading expedition, a journey that promised adventure and prosperity. His preparations began with meticulous planning, as any successful venture did. The logistics of a trading expedition required more than mere enthusiasm. It demanded precision and foresight. Eric gathered a crew of skilled and trusted companions, each bringing unique skills to the endeavor. The selection of goods was equally critical. Furs, honey, and crafted weapons among their precious cargo, items sought after in distant markets. But perhaps most importantly, there was the construction of their longship. This vessel, both a symbol and a tool, had to withstand the treacherous seas and fickle winds. Its sleek design, with its dragon-headed prow, promised speed and resilience. When the time came to set sail, knowledge of navigation was the key to their success. The Vikings, masters of the ocean, relied on a profound understanding of natural markers. The sun, stars, and familiar landmarks guided their journeys, a testament to their refined skills and experience on the high seas. Eric, though new to the life of a seasoned trader, had learned from the best, absorbing the art of navigation as naturally as the breath in his lungs. The Baltic Sea, with its vast expanse, presented the first true test of their resolve. Its unpredictable waters and hidden dangers could unsettle even the most seasoned sailor. Yet for Eric and his crew, it was also a pathway to new alliances and exchanges. The Baltic tribes, fierce in demeanor yet rich in culture, presented both challenges and opportunities. Trade here was a form of diplomacy, a careful dance of negotiation and respect. Goods flowed, stories were shared, and the bonds of trade were strengthened with every successful exchange. Transitioning from the open sea to the river routes of Eastern Europe, Eric discovered a new world of possibilities. The rivers, such as the Dnieper and the Volga, acted as arteries of commerce, connecting disparate lands and cultures. Here the longship was as comfortable in the gentle embrace of the river as it was on the open sea. Eric's journey now wove through the Slavic lands, where furs and amber were traded for honey and iron, where every interaction was a step toward greater understanding and profit. Trade with the Slavic peoples was not only an exchange of goods, but an exchange of ideas and traditions. Cultural encounters enriched Eric's perspective, offering glimpses into the lives and beliefs of others. The language of trade was universal, a bridge across which friendships and alliances were built. But the journey was not without peril, as threats from bandits and rival traders loomed large. Eric, ever prudent, formed strategic alliances, ensuring the safety of his crew and cargo. Defensive tactics were employed where necessary, a testament to the resilience and adaptability that defined their journey. As they arrived at the gates of the Byzantine Empire, the crew was met with the opulence and grandeur of Constantinople, a city unlike any they had seen before. Its markets buzzed with activity, a cacophony of voices and vibrant colors, a place where silver was traded for silk, spices, and other exotic treasures. Eric found himself in awe of the city's beauty and its bustling energy, where trade was not merely an economic activity, but a cultural tapestry woven through centuries. The journey exposed Eric and his companions to the profound influences of Christianity and Islam, broadening their worldviews in a manner unimaginable back home. These encounters with new religions and cultures expanded their horizons, deepening their understanding of a world much larger than their Scandinavian homeland. The knowledge they amassed was as valuable as the goods they traded, a testament to the transformative power of exploration. Navigating into the Persian Gulf, the transition brought new environmental challenges, from the searing heat to the shifting tides. Yet, Eric's crew adapted with ingenuity, adjusting their strategies to accommodate the demands of this unfamiliar terrain. Their resilience was rewarded as they reached the majestic city of Baghdad, the heart of Islamic civilization. Here, the bustling markets were a testament to human creativity and enterprise. The exchange of luxury goods was a dance of negotiation and respect, where every transaction was a step in a grand performance. Reflecting on the legacy of their trade, Eric recognized the enduring impact of these voyages. The cultural and technological exchanges they facilitated contributed to the rich tapestry of European and Middle Eastern history. Ideas and innovations flowed alongside goods, laying a foundation for future advancements and connections. As Eric's expedition turned homeward, the challenges of transporting new goods were tempered by the anticipation of returning to familiar shores. Yet, it was not just the material wealth that drove them, but the stories and knowledge they carried, eager to share with those awaiting to fly ere return. This journey, a tapestry of challenges and triumphs, had shaped them in ways profound and lasting. In the end, Eric's journey symbolized the transformative impact of Viking trade on history. It was a journey that bridged cultures, fostered understanding, and laid the groundwork for future generations to build upon. As the longship sailed towards the horizon, it carried with it the promise of a legacy that would echo through the ages, a reminder of the interconnected nature of humanity and the enduring spirit of exploration. The longship, a marvel of Scandinavian craftsmanship, was no mere vessel but an extension of Viking ambition. Each plank of timber, carefully selected and painstakingly fitted, told a story of the people who wielded the tools to create it. In the bustling fjords of the north, the air was thick with anticipation as preparations for the next grand expedition took shape. Our Viking trader, a man of considerable experience and boundless curiosity, stood among his kin, overseeing the intricate dance of hammers, saws, and sinewy arms that brought the ship to life. The decision of what goods to carry was as critical as the construction of the ship itself. In the bustling markets of their homeland, the traders chose their wares with the precision of a craftsman selecting the finest tools. Pelts of Arctic fox and ermine, glistening in the pale sunlight, were bundled alongside slabs of whalebone and barrels of fermented fish. These goods, common in the north, but treasures in foreign lands, would soon become keys to unlock doors thousands of miles away. The traders' minds were sharp with knowledge passed down through generations. They knew that to succeed on these distant shores, they would need not only goods, but also the wisdom to navigate the myriad cultures they would encounter. With the goods packed and the ship ready, attention turned to the heavens for guidance. The Vikings, masters of the sea, did not rely on maps or compasses as much as on the natural world around them. The sun, the stars, and even the flight paths of birds were navigational tools that guided their journeys, each celestial body a beacon of hope amidst the vast, uncharted waters. As the time to set sail approached, there was an air of solemnity, intermixed with excitement. The traders, standing on the shores of their homeland, were poised to embark on a journey that would lead them through the Baltic Sea's unpredictable waters. This body of water, known for its capricious tempests and hidden shoals, demanded respect. It was here that the traders' skills would be tested early on. The Baltic tribes, with whom they would trade, were were as much a part of the landscape as the dense forests and rocky coastlines. These encounters, sometimes tense, often friendly, would see an exchange of goods and ideas that transcended any single voyage. The transition from the sea to the rivers of Eastern Europe opened a new chapter in the journey. The longship, so adept at slicing through the brine of the open sea, transformed into a river vessel, sliding along the smooth pathways of the Dnieper and the Volga. These rivers were not merely routes but lifelines connecting disparate peoples and cultures. The Viking traders navigated these waterways with a deft touch, their ships becoming an integral part of the landscapes they traversed. Upon reaching the Slavic lands, the tempo of trade quickened. Here, furs were exchanged for amber, and stories were traded alongside goods. The Slavic peoples, with their rich traditions and vibrant communities, became partners in a dance of commerce that enriched both Viking and Slavic alike. These interactions were more than transactions. They were exchanges of culture and ideas that would ripple through time. But the journey was not without danger. Bandits and rival traders lurked along these routes, waiting to pounce on the unwary. Our Viking trader, however, was no stranger to these threats. He formed alliances and crafted strategies to ensure the safety of his crew and cargo. These alliances, sometimes forged in the heat of battle, sometimes in the quiet of negotiation, were as valuable as the goods themselves. Reaching the Byzantine Empire was akin to stepping into a world of wonder and opulence. Constantinople, with its towering spires and bustling markets, was a feast for the senses. Here, the Viking trader came face to face with a civilization that dazzled with its wealth and sophistication. Silver, which had braved the northern seas, was traded for silk and spices, each transaction a testament to the complex web of commerce that spanned continents. These experiences broadened the trader's horizons, introducing him to the rich tapestry of religions and philosophies that flowed through the empire. Encounters with Christianity and Islam were not mere curiosities, but profound exchanges that expanded the Vikings' understanding of the world. This exposure to diverse beliefs and customs shaped a worldview more connected and informed than ever before. As the journey continued through the Persian Gulf, the challenges shifted from cultural to environmental. The scorching sun and shifting sands tested the limits of endurance and ingenuity. Adaptation was key, and the Vikings, ever resourceful, learned to navigate these new obstacles with the same skill that had served them on the icy waters of the north. Arriving in Baghdad, the heart of Islamic civilization, was the culmination of a journey filled with discovery. The city thrummed with life, its markets brimming with an array of luxury goods that seemed endless. The Viking trader found himself immersed in a world where science, art, and commerce intertwined, creating a vibrant tapestry of human achievement. Reflecting on the legacy of such trade, it was clear that these journeys were transformative. The flow of goods and ideas not only enriched the traders in their homelands, but also spurred advancements in technology and culture that resonated for centuries. These exchanges were seeds of change, planting ideas that would grow into new innovations across Europe and the Middle East. The return journey held its own challenges, laden as it was with new goods and stories. The longship, now heavier with the weight of treasure and experience, charted its course back to familiar waters. Yet for those aboard, the true treasure was not the silver or silk, but the new knowledge and perspectives gained over countless leagues. As the familiar shores of Scandinavia came into view, the anticipation of sharing these experiences with family and community grew. Tales of distant lands and cultures would soon echo in the halls of their homes, inspiring future generations to embark on their own voyages of discovery. These stories would become the threads that wove together the fabric of Viking history, a legacy of exploration and connection. In the end, the journey stood as a testament to the power of trade and exploration in shaping the world. It encouraged reflection on the intricate web of relationships and exchanges that define the past and continue to influence the present. The Viking traders, with their unyielding spirit and insatiable curiosity, left an indelible mark on history, reminding us all of the enduring connections that bind humanity across time and space. The Viking Age, a time renowned for its daring explorers and intrepid traders, unfolds through the lens of those who traversed vast distances, linking the Nordic lands with the far reaches of Europe and beyond. Within this tapestry of adventure, one can discern the intricate strategies that shaped the lives of these formidable traders. As the harsh but familiar landscapes of Scandinavia fade into the distance, the compelling story of a fictional Viking trader emerges, embodying the spirit of the age. This trader, a seasoned navigator and savvy merchant, hails from a small coastal village where the long, dark winters and brief, bountiful summers sculpt the rhythm of life. Here, amid the fjords and forests, economic necessity intertwines with opportunity, fueling the desire to venture beyond the familiar shores in search of wealth and resources. With the once remote settlements now bustling with activity, the stage is set for a journey that will span continents. Preparing for such an expedition is no simple feat. It demands meticulous planning and an understanding of the myriad challenges that await. The trader, alongside his trusted crew, must assess the market demands of distant lands, carefully selecting goods that promise the highest value in barter. Amber, furs, and finely crafted weapons are among the commodities chosen to tempt the appetites of foreign merchants. Yet, the preparation does not end with selecting goods alone. A vessel capable of withstanding the capricious sea is paramount. The longship, a marvel of engineering, is crafted to glide swiftly through water while providing the stability needed to endure harsh conditions. Its construction, from sourcing resilient oak timbers to shaping the sleek hull, is a testament to the craftsmanship of those who build these seafaring giants. As the ship takes shape, the traders know this vessel will become their home, their shield against the elements, and their means of forging new connections across vast distances. With the ship prepared and the cargo secured, the journey begins as dawn breaks over the horizon. Navigating the seas requires a blend of age-old techniques and acute observation of the natural world. The sun's position and the dance of the stars guide the way, while keen eyes watch for familiar landforms that signal safe passages. This celestial map, invisible to the untrained eye, unfolds with each stroke of the oar, directing the traders toward their destinations. As the familiar coastline recedes, the Baltic Sea stretches out before them, posing its own set of challenges. The waters here are unpredictable, with sudden storms that test the resolve and skill of even the most experienced sailors. Yet, it is not only the elements that demand vigilance. The sea is alive with the presence of others. Encounters with Baltic tribes offer both opportunity and risk. Exchanges of goods, such as honey and beeswax, create bonds and open new avenues for trade, while careful diplomacy of RTS potential conflict. Past the Baltic, rivers become the arteries of trade, carving paths deep into the heart of Eastern Europe. Vessels once at the mercy of ocean tides now glide along tranquil waterways, with the rhythmic pull of oars propelling them forward. These river routes, such as the Dnieper and Volga, are lifelines that connect disparate cultures, facilitating the flow of goods and ideas. Here the traders' presence is a familiar sight, and their arrival heralds vibrant exchanges with the Slavic peoples. In these lands, furs and amber become the currency of connection, treasures sought after in distant markets. Yet what transpires between exchanges of tangible goods is perhaps of greater significance. Cultural influences bleed across borders as stories, traditions, and beliefs intermingle to form a rich tapestry of shared human experience. The traders find themselves not only as merchants but as conduits of knowledge, bearing witness to the diversity of ways in which people express and understand their world. As the journey unfolds, the specter of danger looms ever present. Bandits lurk along lesser-known paths, their eyes set on the bounty of well-laden ships. Rival traders, too, present competition, their routes often crossing in unexpected ways. To navigate these threats, the Viking trader must forge alliances, enlisting the support of locals and other travelers. Defensive tactics, honed by experience, ensure that the journey continues, preserving both life and livelihood. Eventually, the silhouette of Constantinople rises against the sky, a city that stands as a beacon of wealth and power. Here, the grandeur of the Byzantine Empire reveals itself in a kaleidoscope of colors and sounds. The bustling markets teem with merchants from across the known world, each bringing the rare and exotic to exchange. Silver, highly valued, is traded for silk and spices, treasures that speak of lands even further afield. In this melting pot of civilizations, the Viking traders encounter new belief systems, each offering a glimpse into a different understanding of existence. Christianity and Islam, with their rich traditions and teachings, expand the worldview of those who once knew only the pagan gods of their ancestors. These moments of cultural and religious exchange leave indelible impressions, transforming not only the economic landscape, but also the very fabric of identity. As they venture further into the heart of the Islamic civilization, the transition through the Persian Gulf presents its own hurdles. The traders must adapt to an unforgiving environment where the sweltering heat and arid winds require new strategies for survival. Yet the rewards beyond are great, for in Baghdad, the treasures of the Islamic world unfold. Baghdad, with its sprawling markets and sophisticated society, embodies the zenith of commerce and culture. The traders find themselves captivated by the array of luxury goods, spices, textiles, and precious metal, each a testament to the region's opulence. As deals are struck and goods exchanged, the significance of these interactions becomes clear. Past and present intertwine, laying the groundwork for future achievements. Reflecting on the legacy of trade, one sees the profound impact these exchanges have had on both European and Middle Eastern societies. Technology advances, fueled by shared knowledge, and cultures evolve as ideas traverse boundaries. The Viking traders, once seen as marauders, emerge as pivotal agents of change, their journeys shaping the world in ways they could scarcely have imagined. As the long journey home begins, anticipation fills the air. The challenges of transporting newfound wealth are tempered by the excitement of returning to familiar shores. Tales of distant lands and the wisdom gained along the way will soon enrich the community left behind, inspiring future generations to seek their own paths across the seas. In the end, the voyage stands as a testament to the enduring spirit of exploration and the intricate connections that define human history. The legacy of the Viking traders, etched into the annals of time, encourages reflection on the interconnected nature of our world, reminding us of the timeless bonds that link past and present. As the morning mist clings to the fjords, the village buzzes with activity, a hive of anticipation and preparation, for embarking on a trading expedition is no small feat. Our Viking trader, a seasoned seafarer with a keen eye for opportunity, surveys the bustling scene. The selection of goods to trade is a delicate art, one born of understanding distant markets and the desires that drive them. From the fertile fields and dense forests of Scandinavia, a variety of essentials make their way to the docks. Furs, prized for their warmth and rarity, iron, forged into tools and weapons, foundational to any culture, and amber, the fossilized resin that glows like captured sunlight, treasured as much for its beauty as for its reputed mystical properties. Each item speaks of the land's bounty and the skill of its people, and as the trader inspects these treasures, carefully chosen for their exchange value, the construction of the vehicle that will carry them across the restless sea begins in earnest. The longship, sleek and sturdy, is not merely a means of transport. It is a symbol of freedom and power, crafted with precision from the tall, proud pines that sway in the Scandinavian breeze. Its keel is laid first, a backbone upon which the rest of the vessel will rise, and skilled hands work tirelessly, shaping and fitting each plank, each rivet, until the ship appears as if growing organically from the earth itself. With its shallow draft and symmetrical bow and stern, this marvel of Norse engineering is designed to navigate both the open ocean and the winding rivers that will carry them deep into the heart of the continents. Every aspect of its design reflects the challenges it will face. A dragon-headed prow to ward off evil spirits, shields lining its sides for protection in battle, and a single, towering mast bearing a square sail woven from wool, dyed in the vibrant colors of the earth and sky. As the longship nears completion, preparations shift to the intricacies of navigation. The sea, with its vast and ever-changing face, demands respect and knowledge to be tamed. The Vikings, masters of their watery domain, rely not on charts or compasses, but on the natural world, using the sun's position during the day and the stars at night to guide their way. Their minds are maps, etched with the memory of landmarks, the taste of salt on the wind, and the rhythms of the tides. They understand the language of the sea in a way few others do, reading its moods and murmurs as a shepherd reads the landscape. And so, with goods stowed and crew gathered, the longship slips its moorings, carving a path through the fjord towards the open Baltic Sea. The horizon stretches limitless before them, but it is not without its challenges. The Baltic Sea, known for its treacherous winds and shifting currents, tests their mettle. Yet, it is also a place of opportunity, where the paths of many intersect. Here the Norsemen meet with the Baltic tribes, engaging in the age-old dance of trade and diplomacy. The local peoples, with their own rich traditions and wares, offer honey, fish, and timber, each meeting a chance to weave new threads into the fabric of their journey. As they push onward, the sea yields to the winding rivers of Eastern Europe, the Dnieper and Volga, ancient highways that snake their way into the heart of the continent. The transition from open water to river requires skill and adaptation, a change from the expansive freedom of the sea to the contained, yet equally challenging paths of fresh water. These rivers, gateways to the Slavic lands, teem with life and possibility. As our trader and his crew navigate the currents, new alliances are forged with Slavic merchants, the exchange of furs and amber giving rise to conversations that transcend mere commerce. In these exchanges, the seeds of cultural sharing are sown, as language, customs, and ideas travel alongside tangible goods. The journey is not without peril, however, as the threat of bandits and rival traders looms ever present, shadows on the periphery of the trader's vision. Here, the Vikings' understanding of strategy and defense comes to the fore, forming alliances with local chieftains and employing their wits to outmaneuver those who would do them harm. Beyond these struggles and triumphs, the promise of Constantinople beckons, a jewel of the Byzantine Empire, its opulence and grandeur as legendary as the treasures it holds. Arrival in this magnificent city is both a culmination and a beginning, the bustling markets offering silk, spices, and silver, the very lifeblood of trade flowing through its veins. The splendor of the empire extends beyond material wealth, for it is here that the trader encounters the profound influences of Christianity and Islam, each faith an ocean of thought and philosophy, each encounter a widening of the horizon. The journey stretches onward, a canvas upon which tales of adaptation and resilience are painted, as the longship ventures into the Persian Gulf. The environmental challenges of this new domain, with its arid landscapes and scorching heat, demand ingenuity and resourcefulness. Yet the rewards awaiting in Baghdad are beyond compare. This city, the heart of Islamic civilization, dazzles with its vitality, the richness of its trade market, a testament to the interconnected world in which these Viking traders play an integral part. As the expedition's narrative unfolds, its impact reverberates far beyond the immediate gains of commerce. The legacy of Viking trade is one of profound influence, seeding advancements in technology and culture across Europe and the Middle East. The return journey, while fraught with the challenges of transporting new goods and the fatigue of long months at sea, holds a promise all its own. The anticipation of home, the warmth of the hearth, and the sharing of newfound knowledge and stories with kin await, each tale a thread in the tapestry of their shared history. In reflecting upon this odyssey, future generations find inspiration in the courage and curiosity that propelled their ancestors across the known world. The echoes of these voyages remind us of the bonds we share across time and space, a testament to the enduring spirit of exploration and the intricate connections that weave the fabric of our human story. As the longship moved steadily away from the familiar shores, the vast expanse of the sea stretched out in every direction, a canvas of possibilities and unseen challenges. Our Viking trader, a figure of determination and skill, stood at the helm, eyes scanning the horizon with a practiced gaze. There was a fluid grace in the way he moved, a familiarity with the vessel that was the result of years spent mastering the art of navigation. For the Vikings, setting sail was not merely a journey of trade and conquest, but an intricate dance with the elements, where knowledge of the stars, the whisper of the wind, and the song of the sea could mean the difference between a prosperous voyage and a perilous end. Navigation for these seafarers was a sophisticated skill, honed over generations and passed down through tales and practical instruction. At night, the constellations became a map painted across the heavens, guiding them with a celestial compass. Stars like Polaris, steadfast and unwavering, served as a reliable beacon, while the sun by day offered a more terrestrial guide. As it arced across the sky, it painted shadows on the deck, subtle markers that could tell time and direction for those wise enough to read them. With each rising and setting, our protagonist adjusted his course, his instincts as sharp as the blade at his side. Beneath the keel, the sea itself was a living entity, its currents and tides a language to be deciphered. The rhythm of the waves, the scent of salt and seaweed, even the flight patterns of birds, all contributed to an intricate network of signs that pointed the way forward. Navigating by landmarks was another critical skill. The jagged outline of a distant mountain or the silhouette of an island on the horizon offered points of reference in the vast open waters. As they pressed onward, the challenge of the Baltic Sea lay ahead, a body of water as unpredictable as it was vast. Known for its shifting winds and sudden tempests, the Baltic demanded respect and caution. Here the crew's camaraderie was vital, each member attuned to the other, their roles as woven together as the fibers of the ship's sail. The Viking trader's leadership was evident in how he inspired trust, his decisions rooted in a deep understanding of both man and nature. It was not just the elements that tested the fortitude of these seafarers. The Baltic was a confluence of cultures, a crossroads where different tribes met, sometimes in peace, sometimes in conflict. Our trader knew that here, diplomacy was as valuable as the silver and furs they carried. Encounters with the Baltic tribes could result in fruitful exchanges of goods and stories, or they might require a show of strength or strategic retreat. Each interaction was a negotiation, a dance of give and take that echoed the ebb and flow of the sea itself. Leaving the Baltic behind, the transition from sea to river marked a new chapter in their journey. The waterways of Eastern Europe opened a path into the heartland, where rivers like the Dnieper and Volga served as arteries of commerce and culture. These routes were the lifeblood of trade, their winding courses connecting disparate peoples and places. Here our protagonist found new opportunities and challenges, the rivers demanding a different set of skills, their calm surfaces hiding treacherous currents and hidden shoals. With each bend in the river, they crossed into the Slavic lands, a realm rich with the promise of trade. The furs and amber they carried were treasures sought by many, and the Slavic peoples offered their own bounty in return. In these exchanges, there was more than just goods traded. Languages mingled, customs were shared, and with every interaction, a tapestry of culture was woven, threads of understanding and kinship stretching across the miles. Yet the journey was not without peril. Bandits and rival traders lurked, ever ready to seize a poorly guarded ship. It was here that our Viking showed his cunning, forging alliances with local chieftains, turning potential foes into friends. Defensive tactics were as much a part of the voyage as the trade itself, each encounter a test of wits and might. Their ultimate destination, the shimmering city of Constantinople, loomed large in their dreams. Known as the Queen of Cities, it was a place where East met West, a melting pot of cultures and ideas. The grandeur of its walls and the bustling energy of its markets were unlike anything our trader had seen before. Here, silver flowed like water, exchanged for silk and spices, treasures of the East that held markets in the North spellbound. In Constantinople, the impact of encountering new religions was profound. The austere beauty of Christian churches, with their soaring spires and the call to prayer from Islamic mosques, opened our protagonist's mind to new spiritual landscapes. These experiences expanded his worldview, planting seeds of ideas that would take root in the distant lands he called home. The course beyond Constantinople led into the Persian Gulf, a region where the sun's heat was as fierce as the winds of the northern seas were cold. Adaptation was the key to survival, the crew learning to manage scarce water supplies and navigate the shifting sands of desert shores. Each challenge met with ingenuity, the lessons of every day shaping the trader's resolve and resourcefulness. Reaching Baghdad, the heart of Islamic civilization, they found not only the riches of trade, but a city alive with intellectual vigor. Markets brimmed with luxuries, and the air was filled with the scent of exotic spices, the sound of languages blending in a symphony of commerce and culture. Here, in the shadow of grand libraries and centers of learning, the exchange of goods was paralleled by the exchange of ideas, knowledge flowing as freely as the river that sustained the city. Reflecting on the legacy of these journeys, one sees the profound impact of Viking trade on both European and Middle Eastern cultures. The technological and cultural advancements that arose from these exchanges were catalysts for change, echoes of which are felt even in the modern world. As they embarked on their return journey, the challenges of transporting new goods were met with the same determination that had carried them so far. The anticipation of returning home, of sharing the stories and knowledge gathered, was a powerful motivator, a reminder of the interconnected nature of the world they had navigated. In the end, it was the impact on future generations that stood as the true testament to their journeys. The courage and curiosity of these traders shaped the history of the Vikings, leaving a legacy of exploration and discovery that continues to inspire. As we contemplate their voyages, we are reminded of the ties that bind us across time and space, a tapestry woven by the hands of those who dared to set sail into the unknown. And so the journey unfolds, a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of those early navigators who, with little more than the stars to guide them, set forth upon the vast, uncharted waters. The Vikings, known as fierce warriors, were equally adept as skilled sailors, their mastery of the seas an art as much as a science. To understand their voyages, one must appreciate the delicate dance between man and nature, a dance that relied heavily on the celestial bodies above and the natural landmarks that peppered their routes. The stars were a tapestry of tales and guides, each constellation a beacon in the night sky. Vikings utilized the North Star, or Polaris, as a steadfast point of reference. Unlike other stars, Polaris remains relatively fixed in the heavens, providing a constant guide to true north. By aligning their ships with this celestial compass, Viking traders could maintain their course, even when the sea seemed to conspire against them, its surface a shifting, undulating expanse that could easily deceive the untrained eye. Yet it was not only the stars that offered their wisdom. The sun, too, played a vital role in the navigation of these daring explorers. As the sun rose and set, it marked the passage of time and direction. Viking navigators employed a tool known as a sunstone, a crystalline aid that polarized sunlight, allowing them to determine the sun's position even on overcast days. This seemingly magical device, combined with the knowledge of the sun's arc across the sky, enabled them to maintain their bearings during daylight hours. In addition, Vikings used landmarks, natural features that interrupted the monotony of the horizon, to adjust their paths. The jagged cliffs of distant shores, the silhouette of towering trees, or the specific shape of a coastline provided essential clues to their location, augmenting the celestial maps they carried in their minds. These physical markers, in tandem with the stars and sun, created a navigational network as intricate and reliable as any modern chart. Such skills were essential as our intrepid trader set his sights on the Baltic Sea, that enigmatic body of water that connected them to numerous lands and peoples. Unlike the open ocean, the Baltic presented its own set of challenges. Its shallow waters and unpredictable weather patterns demanded a keen understanding of its moods. To master it was to master the art of sailing itself, a trial by water that forged both skill and tenacity. In the Baltic, our trader encountered tribes whose cultures were as varied as the goods they offered. Here, the exchange was not limited to tangible items like amber or iron. It was a vibrant tapestry of stories, languages, and customs. The interplay between trader and tribesman was as much about the intangible as the tangible, each interaction a brushstroke in the larger canvas of human connection. Beyond the Baltic's embrace, the journey shifted as they entered the river routes of Eastern Europe. Rivers were the lifelines that threaded through the Slavic lands, their currents carrying not only vessels but also ideas and innovations. Transitioning from the open sea to the winding rivers required a deft touch and an understanding of the complex networks that these waterways represented. The Dnieper and Volga were not mere conduits of commerce. They were arteries of civilization, pulsing with the movement of peoples and goods. As the Viking trader navigated these rivers, the landscape shifted, revealing the Slavic lands in all their rich variegation. Here the trade was more than an economic transaction, it was an exchange of cultural wealth. Furs and amber passed from hand to hand, but with them, so too did knowledge, of crafting, of language, of belief. Each transaction was a dialogue, a conversation that enriched both parties and broadened horizons. Yet this journey was not without peril. The specter of bandits and rival traders loomed large, shadows that could quickly turn a prosperous voyage into a desperate struggle for survival. The Viking trader, however, was not without resources. Alliances were forged, often through shared interests or mutual foes, creating networks of support that extended across the regions. Defensive tactics, honed by years of experience, were employed to protect both crew and cargo, ensuring that the voyage continued despite the ever-present dangers. As the trader pushed onward, the landscape transformed once again, leading to the majestic Byzantine Empire. Constantinople, a city of breathtaking opulence, stood as a beacon of commerce and culture. Here, the bustling markets offered an array of exotic goods, silks, spices, and silver, each transaction a testament to the interconnectedness of these ancient worlds. The splendor of the city was matched only by the richness of its exchanges, both material and cultural. In Constantinople, the Viking trader glimpsed the broader tableau of the world's spiritual landscape. The encounter with Christianity, burgeoning in its influence, presented new ideas and philosophies, challenging the trader to expand his worldview. Likewise, the proximity to Islamic lands introduced a tapestry of thought and culture, woven with the threads of scholarship and spirituality. These encounters did more than broaden horizons, they redefined them, leaving an indelible mark on the trader's perception of the world and his place within it. The trader's journey did not pause at the gates of the Byzantine Empire. Instead, it continued, threading through the Persian Gulf, an area known for its formidable natural challenges. The searing heat and turbulent waters demanded adaptation, but these obstacles were met with resilience, a testament to the trader's unyielding spirit. At last, the journey brought them to Baghdad, the heart of Islamic civilization. This city, with its grand architecture and thriving trade markets, was a marvel to behold. The exchange of luxury goods in Baghdad was as a spectacle as the city itself, a bustling hub where cultures converged and commerce flourished. Reflecting on such a journey reveals the profound legacy left behind by these traders. The interweaving of cultures, technologies, and ideas that occurred along these routes had a lasting impact, shaping both European and Middle Eastern societies in ways that continue to resonate today. The advancements born from these exchanges covered a spectrum of human endeavor, from the technological to the philosophical, leaving a legacy of progress and mutual enrichment. As the trader turned homeward, the journey's end was as much about anticipation as it was about reflection. The challenges of transporting newfound goods paled in comparison to the wealth of knowledge and experience gained. Returning home was not merely a conclusion. It was an opportunity to share and grow, to contribute to the ever-expanding tapestry of Viking history and legacy. And so, the story of the Viking trader, like the journeys of countless others, becomes a thread in the greater narrative of human exploration and connection. These voyages remind us that our world, vast and diverse, is ultimately intertwined, shaped by the courageous steps of those who dared to venture into the unknown. As the longship slides away from the familiar shores of Scandinavia, our Viking trader stands at the helm, eyes scanning the horizon. The open sea stretches infinitely, a vast expanse that challenges the very essence of navigation. The sun begins its languid arc across the sky, casting golden hues upon the water, a celestial guide in the absence of modern maps and tools. For the seasoned Viking, the sun is not just a source of warmth, but a compass, offering direction as it rises and sets, anchoring their journey in its predictable path. Beneath the sun's watchful gaze, the stars hold secrets of their own. As night unfurls its velvet canopy, constellations emerge, ancient and unchanging, whispering guidance to those who know their language. The North Star, steadfast amidst the dance of celestial bodies, serves as a beacon, its unwavering presence a reminder of true north, helping to align the course. This cosmic interplay of sun and stars becomes the silent navigator, leading the longship through the Baltic's myriad challenges. Navigating by these celestial markers is an art passed down through generations, honed by stories and practice. But the natural world offers additional guides as well. Along the coastlines, the sight of familiar landmarks, a peculiar rock formation, the silhouette of a distant cliff, provides reassurance that the vessel is on the right path. These terrestrial signposts, coupled with a deep understanding of wind patterns and sea currents, form an intricate tapestry of navigation, each thread woven with experience and intuition. As the longship carves its path across the Baltic Sea, it crosses the realm of the Baltic tribes. Here, the waters teem with life and peril, where nature's caprices can quickly turn an ally into an adversary. The sea's temperament, moody and unpredictable, demands respect and vigilance. Our trader, ever watchful, commands the skilled crew, their movements synchronized like a well-rehearsed symphony, each member attuned to the subtle shifts of the vessel and the sea. Amidst these waters, encounters with the Baltic tribes unfold. These interactions are more than mere transactions. They are exchanges rich with the possibility of mutual benefit. Local goods, each imbued with the essence of their origin, pass hands, fine furs, honey, and amber, coveted treasures that speak of distant lands and unique cultures. Through these exchanges, bonds are forged, the silent language of trade transcending barriers of tongue and custom. Leaving the Baltic behind, the journey transitions from the open sea to the winding arteries of Eastern Europe. The rivers, majestic and serpentine, beckon the longship inland. The Dnieper and Volga, mighty in their breadth and depth, become highways into the heart of the Slavic lands. Here, the current's pull draws the vessel onward, its banks lined with dense forests whispering secrets of the earth. Upon these river routes, the rhythm of travel shifts. Unlike the open sea, the Riv, our demands a different kind of mastery, a dance with nature's flow that requires both patience and prowess. The Slavic peoples, guardians of these lands, await at riverine crossroads. Among them our trader finds camaraderie and commerce, exchanging furs and amber for metals and crafted goods, each trade weaving a tighter web of connection and understanding. Yet the river journey is not without its perils. Bandits lurk in shadowed inlets, eyes gleaming with the promise of plunder. Rivals, too, seeking to claim their fortune, pepper the waters with their presence. It is here that strategy becomes paramount. Alliances, carefully fostered with both iron and diplomacy, form a protective shield. The crew, unified in their purpose, remains vigilant, ever ready to defend their floating home. Finally, the river's embrace releases them into the dazzling light of the Byzantine Empire, where Constantinople rises in splendor, its skyline a testament to human achievement. In this city of opulence and grandeur, our trader finds an array of goods and ideas that dazzle the senses. Silver flows like liquid moonlight, exchanged for the rich textures of silk and the fragrant allure of spices. Each transaction here is a dance of cultures, a fusion of East and West, ancient and new. In the shadow of Constantinople's soaring minarets, the echoes of religious and cultural dialogues are ever present. Christianity and Islam, with their rich tapestries of belief and tradition, offer new perspectives to the traveler, expanding horizons beyond the physical journey. Each conversation, each shared meal, becomes a conduit for ideas, a vehicle for the exchange of not just goods, but worldviews. Beyond the Byzantine realm, the Persian Gulf beckons, its waters carrying tales of merchants and mariners who braved its depths. Here, environmental challenges test the mettle of the hardy crew. The sun blazes with an intensity that demands adaptation, shadows shrinking in the relentless heat. Yet in this harsh beauty, our trader finds opportunity, the chance to navigate through these waters, guided by instinct and the lessons of countless elders, each wave a chapter in the endless saga of exploration. The journey culminates in Baghdad, the heart of Islamic civilization, its vibrant soul a cacophony of sights and sounds. The city's grandeur rivals any in the known world, its markets bustling with life and the scent of exotic spices that fill the air. Here, luxury goods change hands, each transaction a chapter in the story of global commerce, a testament to the interconnectedness of distant lands. Reflecting on the journey, the long-term effects of Viking trade ripple across cultures, sparking advancements in technology and igniting cultural transformations. These exchanges enriched societies, leaving indelible marks on the landscape of history, shaping the world in profound ways. As the trader and crew prepare for the homeward journey, the anticipation of sharing new knowledge and assures with their kin fuels their spirits. The longship, laden with the fruits of countless exchanges, charts a course back to familiar shores, the promise of stories yet to be told illuminating the path. And so the legacy of these voyages endures, a reminder of the daring spirit of exploration that defines humanity's quest for connection. The impact on future generations is undeniable, a testament to the power of trade routes that bind us, not just through commerce, but through the shared human experience. In this web of history, the Viking trader's journey becomes a timeless tale of adventure, a beacon of the boundless potential that lies within the human heart. The vast stretch of the Baltic Sea lay ahead like a shimmering, restless expanse, beckoning to those who dared to chart its waters. For our Viking trader, the sea was more than just a barrier to cross. It was a living entity, unpredictable in its moods, yet full of promise. This body of water was a crucial artery in the network of Viking trade routes, linking the Scandinavian heartlands with distant, exotic territories. The journey across the Baltic was not merely a test of endurance and courage, but a rite of passage, a necessary traverse for those seeking fortunes beyond their own shores. Setting out from the familiar fjords, our protagonist and his crew embarked on this leg of their journey with a sense of both trepidation and excitement. The preparation had been meticulous, their longship a marvel of design, crafted to withstand the rigors of open water. Its sleek, shallow draft allowed it to navigate both high seas and the shallower rivers that lay beyond. As they pushed off from the coast, the rhythm of the oars became their heartbeat, sinking their spirits with the ceaseless pulse of the sea. Navigating the Baltic required a deft hand and a keen eye. The Vikings, famed for their seafaring prowess, relied on an intricate blend of knowledge passed down through generations. The sun, stars, and familiar landmarks were their guides, each voyage an opportunity to refine this celestial dialogue. The sea, while often a collaborator, could swiftly turn adversary, with sudden squalls and hidden shoals posing threats to the unwary. Yet, it was this very unpredictability that honed the skills of these intrepid mariners, making them masters of their watery domain. As the longship cut through the waves, they encountered not only natural challenges, but also the rich tapestry of human interaction. The Baltic tribes, with whom they traded, were as varied as the lands they inhabited. Each encounter offered a new opportunity for exchange, a chance to barter Scandinavian goods, finely wrought weapons, furs, and amber, for the unique offerings of the region. These interactions were more than mere transactions. They were the threads of cultural dialogue, weaving a complex narrative of mutual influence and shared knowledge. The journey continued, transitioning from open sea to the winding courses of Eastern Europe's river routes, each bend and turn a chapter in the trader's evolving story. The rivers were lifelines, connecting the vast interior lands with the sea, facilitating a flow of goods and ideas. Chief among these was the mighty Dnieper, a conduit into the heart of the Slavic lands. Here the lush forested banks offered a stark contrast to the open sea, their tranquility belying the challenges of navigating the shifting currents and seasonal floods. With each stroke of the oar, they delved deeper into these lands, the landscape echoing with the whispers of ancient tales and the promise of new alliances. The Slavs, skilled traders themselves, offer a wealth of fur and amber, coveted commodities in distant markets. The exchanges were conducted with a blend of diplomacy and guile, our protagonist's keen sense for negotiation honed with every transaction. The people they met, their customs and languages became part of the expansive mosaic of the trader's journey, broadening perspectives and fostering a profound appreciation for the interconnected nature of their world. Yet, the path was fraught with danger, the specter of bandits and rival traders ever present. The rivers, while vital to trade, were also conduits for conflict, where ambitions clashed as often as cultures met. Our Viking trader, ever vigilant, forged strategic alliances, turning potential adversaries into partners, sharing the spoils of their conquests and strengthening bonds that would serve them well in the trials ahead. These carefully nurtured relationships were as valuable as the goods they traded, a testament to the power of human connection in overcoming adversity. As they approached the Byzantine Empire, the culmination of their journey loomed, an opulent promise just beyond the horizon. The grandeur of Constantinople awaited, a city of unmatched splendor, where East met West in a vibrant confluence of culture and commerce. The bustling markets offered a dizzying array of possibilities, where the silver from northern mines could be traded for the silks and spices that fueled not just their economy, but their imaginations. Each transaction was a dance of cultures, a fusion of worlds that enriched both parties, leaving a lasting legacy in their wake. The influences of these encounters extended beyond mere trade. The exposure to new religions and philosophies expanded the Viking traders' worldview, Christianity and Islam offering new lenses through which to understand the human experience. These interactions were transformative, reshaping identities and forging a path toward a more interconnected existence, where the flow of ideas was as vital as the exchange of goods. Moving through the Byzantine Empire into the Persian Gulf, the journey transcended the physical, becoming a metaphor for exploration and adaptation. The harsh desert landscapes presented both challenge and inspiration, demanding resilience and ingenuity. The lessons learned on the seas served them well here, guiding their strategies for survival and success in these arid lands. Each new encounter along the Gulf was a testament to the versatility and tenacity of these traders, their ability to thrive in diverse environments, a hallmark of their enduring legacy. Reaching Baghdad, the heart of Islamic civilization, was the pinnacle of their odyssey, a city that dazzled with its wealth and innovation. The markets thrived with a kaleidoscope of luxury goods, where the fruits of the traders' long journey found willing buyers. The exchange was not just of materials but of ideas, a vibrant discourse that enriched both cultures, fostering advancements in technology and thought that would ripple through generations. And so, with their holds filled with the treasures and knowledge of distant lands, they embarked on the homeward journey, each wave carrying them closer to the familiar shores from whence they came. The anticipation of returning home was tinged with a sense of fulfillment, the promise of sharing tales and treasures with those who had awaited their return. The challenges of the voyage home were tempered by the bonds forged in the crucible of shared adversity, their camaraderie unbroken by the trials faced. As they sighted the coasts of their homeland, the significance of their journey crystallized, a testament to the indomitable spirit of exploration that defined their age. The Viking traders' story, woven into the fabric of history, became a beacon for future generations, a reminder of the power of trade to transcend boundaries and unite disparate worlds. And in this grand tapestry of human endeavor, the legacy of the Viking traders endured, inspiring those who followed to seek out new horizons and forge connections that would shape the course of history. Yet as they stood on the prow of their longship, gazing out at the vast expanse before them, the treacherous waters of the Baltic Sea lay ahead, challenging even the most seasoned sailors. It was a restless body of water, its surface often roiled by unpredictable winds and currents that tested the mettle of those who dared to navigate its depths. The Baltic was both a highway and a gauntlet, a vital artery in the network of trade routes that defined the era, linking Scandinavia to the rich resources and cultures of Eastern Europe. The Viking trader, with a keen eye honed by years of seafaring, read the signs that nature offered. The color of the sky at dusk, the patterns of seabirds in flight, all whispered secrets of the weather to come. This journey demanded not just strength and courage, but a profound understanding of the sea's moods. The longships, agile and sturdy, were designed to cut through these waters, their shallow drafts allowing for swift travel and easy landing on distant shores. As the ship pressed on, skirting the coastlines that offered both guidance and refuge, the crew maintained a constant vigil. The Baltic was not just a test of navigation, but a crucible of diplomacy and survival. Here they encountered the Baltic tribes, whose territories were scattered along the shores. These interactions were a dance of caution and opportunity. The tribes were both potential allies and adversaries, their own livelihoods intertwined with the sea's bounty. The Viking trader, adept at negotiation, often found common ground with these peoples through the exchange of goods. Fine textiles, crafted weapons, and the promise of mutual benefit facilitated these encounters, turning potential conflicts into partnerships. Invariably, the goods traded were more than mere commodities. They were tokens of trust, gateways to deeper connections that transcended the immediate transaction. Yet, even as they bartered and bonded, the crew remained vigilant. The Baltic Sea, beautiful and bountiful, was also home to pirates who watched the traders' progress with envious eyes. The threat of theft or violence was ever present, a shadow that loomed over the glinting waves. But the Vikings were prepared. Their longships, fast and maneuverable, were their first line of defense, and their reputation for ferocity in battle served as a deterrent to would-be attackers. Navigating the Baltic required not only skill but a keen sense of timing. The seasons dictated the rhythm of the sea. The icy grip of winter could freeze the waters, locking ships in place and halting trade. Thus, the Viking trader and his crew were attuned to the changing seasons, their embarkations timed to take advantage of the longer days and milder weather of spring and summer, when the sea, though still capricious, was less forbidding. As they journeyed onwards, leaving the Baltic behind, the transition from sea to river was a delicate maneuver. Here lay the gateway to Eastern Europe, the river Dnieper and Volga calling them further into the continent's heart. These rivers, lifelines that snaked through the lands, offered new challenges and opportunities. The longships, able to navigate both sea and river, allowed them to penetrate deep into the territories of the Slavic peoples. Trade routes along these rivers were not merely commercial highways, they were conduits of culture and knowledge. The Viking trader marveled at the variety of goods and ideas that passed from hand to hand, from fur-clad hunters to silk-draped merchants. Each exchange enriched their understanding, broadening the horizons of those who ventured along these routes. Here, geography became destiny, the rivers shaping the flow of commerce and cultural exchange. As the Viking fleet progressed deeper into these lands, the Slavic peoples, with their own rich traditions, extended both hospitality and goods. The exchange of furs and amber, prized in distant markets, was a testament to mutual benefit and respect. Such interactions were not without their complexities. They required a delicate balance of diplomacy and strength, the recognition that trade was as much about relationships as it was about goods. The river routes, vital yet fraught with danger, were crossed with courage and camaraderie. Bandits lurked along the banks, drawn by the potential riches that flowed past. Rival traders, too, competed for dominance, their ambitions as boundless as the rivers themselves. The Viking trader, seasoned by years of such encounters, knew when to fight, when to forge alliances, and when to retreat. It was this strategic acumen that ensured their survival and success. Having navigated these myriad challenges, the travelers found themselves at the gates of the Byzantine Empire, where the opulence of Constantinople awaited. This city, a glittering jewel on the horizon, was a testament to human ingenuity and aspiration. In its bustling markets, the Viking trader marveled at the array of goods, the shimmer of silk, the heady aroma of spices, the gleam of silver. Here, trade was an art, a sophisticated dance of supply and demand that connected continents and cultures. The wealth of Constantinople was both a magnet and a marvel. The exchange of silver for silk, a transaction repeated countless times, symbolized the enduring links between East and West. Yet beyond the tangible goods, it was the exchange of ideas that left an indelible mark. The Viking trader, exposed to the grandeur and complexity of Byzantine culture, carried these experiences back home, their worldview expanded by the cosmopolitan tapestry of the city. As they turned their sails towards the Persian Gulf, the transition from the Byzantine Empire to new lands was seamless, the shift marked by a change in climate and culture. The Gulf, with its shimmering heat and stark beauty, presented its own challenges, demanding adaptation and resilience. Here, the traders' ingenuity was tested once more, their strategies refined by necessity and experience. Reaching Baghdad, the heart of Islamic civilization, was a culmination of their journey. The city, vibrant and teeming with life, was a crossroads of commerce and culture, a testament to the power of human connection. In its bustling markets, the Viking trader was both participant and observer, each transaction deepening their understanding of this rich, diverse world. Reflecting on the legacy of their trade, it became clear that these journeys were far more than the movement of goods. They were the threads that wove the tapestry of human history. The exchange of ideas, the blending of cultures, and the advancement of technology all owed much to these voyages of discovery. The return journey, laden with new treasures and knowledge, was marked by anticipation and reflection. As the Viking trader and their crew set their sights on home, the challenges they had faced were eclipsed by the wealth of experience they carried with them. The anticipation of sharing these discoveries with those awaiting their return was palpable, a testament to the enduring spirit of exploration. The significance of these expeditions in shaping Viking history and legacy is profound. Each journey, a chapter in the grand narrative of exploration, reminds us of the interconnected nature of our world, a lesson as relevant today as it was centuries ago. As the Viking longship cuts through the icy waters, leaving the familiar coasts of Scandinavia behind, the rugged crew finds themselves at the threshold of the sprawling Baltic Sea, a vast expanse teeming with both promise and peril. For our intrepid Viking trader, the sea is not merely an obstacle, but an open gateway to opportunities that lie beyond its horizon. With each pull of the oar, the rhythm of the sea matches the heartbeats of men who have long since mastered the art of navigating its unpredictable moods. These waters, dotted with islands and hidden dangers, demand respect and skill, yet they are also rich with the potential for exchange and connection. The encounter with the Baltic tribes is not a sudden clashing of cultures, but rather a dance of curiosity and commerce, a meeting of minds across the water's edge. Our Viking protagonist and his crew, seasoned by many voyages, understand that these interactions are not solely about trade. They are about building bridges, forging alliances, and understanding the nuances of the people who call these shores home. The tribes of the Baltic, with their own rich traditions and goods, welcome the arrival of the Vikings, recognizing them as both formidable warriors and valued trading partners. The exchange is vibrant and varied, from the supple furs that the Baltic peoples expertly trap to the rare amber that glows with an earthy warmth. Each transaction a step towards mutual prosperity. Cultural narratives intertwine as stories are shared over crackling fires, tales of Norse gods mingling with local legends, creating a tapestry of shared human experience. It is here, amid this cultural crossroads, that our Viking trader learns to appreciate the subtle intertwining of trade and tradition, recognizing that every good exchanged carries with it a part of its origin, a whisper of its homeland. The Baltic tribes, too, are not passive participants, but active contributors to this vibrant exchange, offering insights into their world, their navigational skills, and their understanding of the natural world that surrounds them. As the longship continues its journey, the fierceness of the Baltic winds recedes, giving way to the smoother currents of the river routes that beckon the Vikings deeper into Eastern Europe. The transition from the open sea to the meandering rivers is a shift not just in landscape, but in strategy, as the crew adapts to the quieter, more contemplative pace of river travel. The Dnieper and Volga rivers become lifelines, guiding the traders through lush forests and sprawling plains, each bend in the river a new opportunity for discovery. Trade with the Slavic peoples emerges as a key part of this journey, with fur and amber once again playing a crucial role. Yet it is not just the goods that are exchanged. Language and customs flow freely, enriching the Viking trader's knowledge and broadening his worldview. The riverbanks become conduits for cultural exchange, as the Vikings learn to navigate not only the physical landscape, but the intricate social networks that thrive along these waters. The Slavs, with their deep-rooted traditions and strong community ties, offer a glimpse into a world both distinct and familiar, a world where the interconnectedness of trade routes fosters understanding and respect. Despite the serenity of the rivers, the journey is fraught with challenges. Bandits lurk in the shadows, a constant reminder of the perils that accompany the promise of prosperity. Rival traders, drawn by the same allure of wealth and opportunity, pose threats that demand vigilance and strategic cunning. Here our Viking trader must call upon all his skills, forming alliances where possible and defending his cargo with the prowess of a seasoned warrior. Each encounter, whether friend or foe, is a testament to the volatile dance of trade in an age where security is never guaranteed. Eventually, the rivers lead to the shimmering gates of the Byzantine Empire, where Constantinople stands as a beacon of opulence and grandeur. The city's bustling markets are alive with the sounds and scents of the world, an intoxicating blend of cultures converging in one place. For the Viking trader, this is the pinnacle of his journey, a place where dreams of silk and spice become tangible realities, where silver is exchanged not just for goods, but for stories, for knowledge, for a glimpse into a world of endless possibilities. The grandeur of the Byzantine Empire is both awe-inspiring and humbling, a testament to the heights of human achievement and the boundless potential of trade to connect disparate worlds. Here, amidst the mosaic of merchants and goods, the Viking trader encounters the profound influences of Christianity and Islam, religions that offer new perspectives and challenge old beliefs. These encounters are not mere exchanges of faith, but of philosophy, of ideas that ripple through the trader's mind, expanding his understanding of the world and his place within it. As the journey extends towards the Persian Gulf, the Viking trader must once again adapt, learning to traverse the arid landscapes and surmount the environmental challenges that accompany this new phase of exploration. The heat and dust of the desert are as formidable as any storm at sea, yet they are met with the same determination and resilience that have carried the Vikings this far. The Persian Gulf serves not as an end, but a continuation of the journey, leading them to Baghdad, the heart of Islamic civilization. Baghdad stands as a marvel of human ingenuity, a city that pulses with life and innovation. Our Viking trader walks the streets with wide eyes, absorbing the sights and sounds of a thriving marketplace where luxury goods from across the world are exchanged in a symphony of commerce. Here, ideas flow as freely as the goods, a testament to the power of trade to transcend boundaries and cultivate a shared human experience. Reflecting on the journey, the long-term effects of these expeditions become clear. The Viking Age, shaped by these connections, sees advancements in technology and culture that ripple through Europe and the Middle East. The legacy of this trade is not measured merely in wealth, but in the enrichment of human understanding, the weaving together of cultures that might otherwise have remained disparate. As the longship finally turns towards home, the anticipation of sharing new knowledge and goods invigorates the crew. The homeward-bound trek is filled with tales of adventure and discovery, each story a link in the chain of human history. These expeditions, etched into the memories of those who dared to journey forth, are not just voyages of trade, but of transformation, shaping the Viking legacy and history in ways both profound and enduring. In the quiet moments before the ship reaches the familiar shores of home, there is a sense of completion, of journeys ended and stories yet to be told. Each crew member, changed by the experiences and exchanges, carries within them the seeds of future explorations. They know, as we do now, that history is not merely a series of events, but a tapestry of interconnected lives, woven together by the threads of trade and exploration.